Measure it better than you did your arches.
I have, thank you, Rory. And it's nowhere near. How's that happened? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the summer. Yes, that's right, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and what that means is old clocks like us are going to be out in our classic cars once again. They've come out of hibernation, they're back on the roads, clogging them up with carbon monoxide, oil everywhere, slow moving traffic.
Breaking down.
Yes, all of it, and boy are we looking forward to it. So what we're going to do today is we've brought our classic cars along, my Mini and your Triumph Spitfire, which you may remember from our £3,000 classic car challenge back in the summer of last year.
Which you may remember, there is one more car.
There is one more car,
and it's not here.
No, it's big, it's yellow, it's Betty, and that is currently at Yorkshire Car Restorations having a full restoration. Meanwhile, these two have been in hibernation, haven't they?
Well, yours has more been in hibernation than mine. Mine's been sat in a field, slowly rotting away, unfortunately.
So I left mine inside over the winter, and you left yours outside, and that really shows because this car has developed some very strange cracking in some very strange places, and some of the paint and filler is coming away.
So we spoke from our man from Moss, Will Chiggers.
Who knows everything about
the man with the mustache. And he thinks that this might have actually been in a small little impact, which is why there's so much filler on this one side. So, and it also he explains, because the boot lids apparently don't rust on these, which is why a boot lid, even though you could probably get your whole shell for nearly £1,000, one boot lid for a Triumph Spitfire, how much do you think?
300 quid.
£700.
That's a lot.
That is a lot,
isn't it?
That is
quite a lot.
I can get this whole panel from here down to here, which does rust, for £260.
Right, so you think it's had a small little accident?
Yeah, which explains filler, a lot of filler.
Filler, yeah. But there is filler over there as well.
But nowhere near as much as this side.
Okay, so we're not going to be concentrating on the bodywork today. This is eventually going to go for paint in the next couple of months or so. But what we're going to be doing today is the mechanical works, because you've got some running issues and bits and bobs on this.
It's running really rich.
Yeah. So we're going to, I'm going to try and adjust the carb. Not really that knowledgeable on carbs, but Will gave me a very brief...
I've got a thing for that,
brief thing, talk through of a carb earlier on. So I'm going to give it a go. This is a vacuum sucky tester.
Yeah.
It looks like a snail, but if you...
Oh, look.
See?
God, you've got a good blow.
Yeah, I've got... No, it's a suck.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get them in the unit. So now both the cars are in the workshop, we are going to look at what parts we have and what we're going to be fitting on these cars today. So let me go through mine first of all. I've got a new cam cover gasket or rocker cover gasket or whatever you want to call it. I've got a pair of rear wheel spacers because the rear wheels don't quite sit far enough out in the arches. They look a bit weird. So I've bought some of those with some longer wheel studs. I've got a new air filter, K&N air filter. I've got a new headlight bowl. Now the reason I have this is because the screw keeps falling out of that one because it's all worn out and funny, and the front keeps falling off. Adjustable tie rod bars, and that is because if you look at these wheels, they sit too far forward in the front wheel arches, which means I can't lower it enough and it looks a bit weird. It's got too much caster. So the wheel should sit about here, and as you can see, it currently sits about there. I've also, in this bag, got a few little bits. I've got some bonnet straps / bonnet pins. I'm going to work out what ones I want to put on, but the current bonnet hinge setup is a nightmare, and the bonnet, I'll demonstrate what it does. When you get to about 60 miles an hour, it starts to levitate like this, and it's very scary. Also, in traffic, it does tend to get a bit hot. I removed this originally thinking that I didn't need it because I had an electric fan. Turns out you need both. Now, Rory.
Oh,
wait.
Oh, Taylor's on camera duties.
What have you got?
I have got a very small pile compared to Taylor. I have a new front lip.
Okay.
So that should go on somewhere like that.
Yeah. But it covers up your number plate.
Yeah, I do have to move the number plate somewhere. Or just not have one. But definitely move it somewhere.
But that's illegal.
That's illegal, so we can't do that.
That's illegal. You should have a front number plate on your car.
I've got some new spark plugs, and that's to try and hopefully fix, once we've basically improved the mixture, by changing my dash pots with carburettor needles.
No idea how to do any of that.
What are these?
We're going to give it a go.
This is like
That's old.
witchcraft and wizardry sort of thing, isn't it?
Do you know what that is? That's back in my day when I
Back
used
in
to
my
change
day,
the
we used to
dashboard.
change fueling by putting needles in things, didn't we? So yeah, I've got these dash pots. These are courtesy of Will Chiggers. I think they're actually stolen off his boss's car.
Brilliant.
Will.
Thanks, Will.
The biggest thing I also have as well, we didn't really finish a lot of things. So the wiring, as you'll see here.
Yeah, that's that's interesting.
Yeah. This is very reminiscent of my E28, which is now being fixed at the moment, but the wiring was just very rushed. I have put a new coil in since I took this home, but that didn't actually help things. I thought maybe it was misfiring because of that. Turns out it's just running really rich. The other thing, at some point, I do need to fix, because it is terrible, are these seats.
We redid the seats. They do look a bit wonky.
Taylor, we redid the seats, but we did them in a terrible way.
Are you saying that, look how wonky that seat is?
Look at it. What is going on here?
The seats, they look like I'm looking at them through beer goggles.
But other than that, I think mine's probably in a lot better state than yours.
Oh, no, it's not.
Mine drove all the way back to my house, which was an hour and a half, and I only broke down twice.
Mine didn't break down at all. It just gassed me out and I broke down.
Oh no, I did break down twice.
I personally broke down.
Okay.
Shall we start on the Mini?
Yep.
Let's crack on.
Hit it.
What do I need? Where do we keep stuff now? Isn't quite as simple as a normal wheel spacer where you put it on and then you've got longer wheel bolts. We need to change the studs. I will show you how to do that now. God, that's tight. Where's the hammer selection? We must have some hammers, surely.
There's probably hammers in there.
Hammers in here. Right, yeah, no. Hold the line cooler. Give it a little tap, just to free it off, because it's really tight. That's really tight. Right, I think...
How is you hammering it going to make it loose?
Because it does, it's the thing that it does.
I found the adjuster on the back of the thing.
No,
that
you
could have
haven't.
Just,
no, I
That you
did.
could have just released and then it would have come off a lot easier. Oh, it's weird that.
Shut up. I've just learnt something new. Whether it be the easy way or the hard way, I've learnt it. Right, I've fitted the new studs.
So we've discovered something, haven't we?
I think this might have had spaces on it before because the new studs that I've received are actually slightly shorter than the old ones. So what I'm going to do is give that a little clean, pop this on, and yeah, fit the new spaces. But make sure that I adjust my drum brake back up now that I've reinstalled the drum. That was easy.
I don't think that's enough meat.
Do you not think?
No.
Shall I put the wheel on and have a look?
Yes.
Oh, these do go into the... No.
But we can at least see what it would look like, which is correct.
It's better, isn't it?
That does look a lot better
It's
now.
just I can't bolt it to the car. So we've calculated that we've got the wrong wheel studs for the rear, therefore steel wheels, not alloys, so we've ordered some more. So next I'm going to move on to the front lower arms and try and bring that caster back in.
They do look like they might be on there quite good.
They do look a bit rusty, don't they?
Oh, look at the end of that bolt.
Now a lot of people will be looking at me right now and saying you are using the incorrect size spanner because this nut is probably imperial and I am using a metric spanner. Well, do you know what? You're correct. Do I care? No.
Do we have Imperial? Yes.
Do we have imperial?
Yeah.
Do we actually?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't tell me that. Where are they?
They're somewhere.
Oh, brilliant. So we've got imperial spanners. We just don't know where they are. I'm going to warm this bolt up because he's a bit cold. Also a bit stuck. It doesn't matter that I've clarted the end of this too much because I have got some new ones. think they must have thought of this in the kit. They must have thought, yeah, you won't get that old bolt out, that'll be seized. I'll be really pissed off if you have. Surely not. No, they wouldn't design something like that.
That does appear.
No, I won't have that.
That does appear that you might have to take.
No, I'm not having that.
That does seem to be on the dry shaft.
Oh, there we are. One track arm. So the difference between this and the new one is that the new one is shiny, but not only shiny, it is adjustable. So we can actually adjust the length of it, and we need to make it longer so it pushes the wheel. Wait. I can't really demonstrate, but over there. Right, so new arm, got a nice new bush on there. Look, it's purple as well. Matches the green, good contrast. And then that, simply drop them out. Of course, we're going to adjust them by eye, because that's what we do.
That definitely looks more central now.
So I've got about one and a bit. Well, if I use the fat end of my finger, I've got a finger, and then here, I can get 2 and a bit fingers in. I keep doing it a bit more.
And you've got fat fingers as well.
I've got, what is it, Prince Philip fingers, someone said the other day.
From 2 old clocks to another one, and a reminder from me that if you want to buy yourself a used car, van or motorbike, always run a car vertical report on it first to ensure it's not being crashed, stolen or clocked. If we take a look at the car vertical report for all the gear Suzuki carry, you can see green ticks for odometer, finance and damage. It tells me and you that this little machine does not have a shady past. And now to give you guys an example of a bad car vertical report, here is a Mini with green ticks for odometer and finance, but an amber warning for damage. And if we scroll down, we have got some pictures here. It looks like this poor Mini has rolled. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see that this car was crashed not once, but twice. So you know if this car were to be put back on the road, that it wasn't a particularly good one to have. So again, don't get stung when buying a used car, van or motorbike. Always run a car vertical report on it first. What's more, you will get 20% off using the code V2. Right then, Rory and Taylor, back to it.
With the other side of Taylor's Mini sorted, it was time to move on to the bonnet and the engine bay.
I've decided I'm taking these off.
What, those?
Yeah, because I always clout them like that and they always fall off. And I'm not sure on them. Oh, look how clean my little engine is. It's mint. That's like brand new. Look at that. That is exhaust gasket. I wonder it was leaking. You've done a terrible job.
Wait, let me try a different head.
Well, now that we've established it's not going to work, should I give it another go?
Yeah.
I got it, I bent it, and I've got it out. Oh, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness gracious me for that. So the water housing is now on, the head has been cleaned up. What I need to do next is fit the cam cover gasket. This one is a cork item, but I was taught by Will earlier on how to fit this, because if I put it up to the rocker cover here, it just slides about. It doesn't really have a place to sit. There's no grooves, it's just a smooth surface. So, what I need to do, pop that there, get a bit of spray glue, spray it on the gasket, put the rocker cover on it, and then apparently I just need to put a bit of weight on it for a bit, and leave it. And then that'll dry, and then it'll stay in place, and then when I put it on the car, it won't move about and then leak. Simple. What's next? Fan. There's a fly on my supercharger. There we are. That goes there.
Simply install fan
Just don't.
and bolt on.
Just don't. I've decided that it's too much faff. I'm going to take the whole radiator out, which is just brilliant.
Turns out there was some water left.
There
in
was a bit, yeah. It's a bit brown. Oh, bollocks. Rory, there's been a terrible... Oh, for sake.
What are you doing, man?
I don't know.
You can tell it's a Friday.
You can tell it's a Friday. Friday afternoon motors. At your service. That's for my coolant temp gauge. I've been looking for that everywhere. It was sat on the exhaust. I've melted the end of it, look. Wondered why that wasn't working. Are you sure it went down there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because you put it on the top and then it sort of fell down the back.
Have we got a new one?
No.
Just go and we'll go and get a new one. There it is. See that? Engine side. It goes on like that. It looks like it would go on like that, but it actually goes on like that. The fan is on. All I have to do now is reassemble the radiator, refit it in reverse order, and away she goes.
With everything else reassembled, we returned the following day to get started on my Spitfire.
Oh!
Not great.
No, not great. Do you think it's been running a bit rich?
Spicy.
I think that might be why it's slightly,
Yeah.
yeah. Taylor, how tight would I want a spark plug to be?
Depends. How strong are your elbows?
They're quite weak.
Not too tight then. You tighten it up and I'll tell you. So as you tighten it up...
Oh, are we loosening?
No, that's tightening. You can feel the washer crush. Yeah? You're crushing it now. You're crushing the washer. Keep going. And then it goes tight. Feel that?
Yeah,
Do you feel that's gone tighter?
Yeah.
You give it a little more of a nip. That's as tight as you want to do it.
Okay.
So on the spark plug, you've got a little crush washer here.
Yeah.
And that seals the spark plug onto the cylinder. When they're new, that's a little bit taller. So as you tighten it up, you squash it down, and then you can feel it getting tighter.
If you take a spark plug out, can you not put it back in?
You can, but the washer's already crushed, so it feels slightly different when it goes in the second time. But that's usually the rule of thumb. If you haven't got a torque wrench, or if you don't know how tight to do them, you can feel the washer being crushed. Okay. And then when it goes a bit tighter, just nip it a little bit, and that's all you need. So I'm going to drill my bonnet. I've measured it up, sort of. I'm just going to do it by eye.
Measure it better than you did your arches.
I have, thank you, Rory. And it's nowhere near. How's that happened?
How have you done that so badly? So to put it into perspective, the hole is here. It needs to be here.
Oh shit. Maybe I should test fit it before I file it. Perfect. Rory, I got it right.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, spot on.
You actually?
Yeah, I have, yeah. It's absolutely bob on. See? Thank you very much.
Why are you saying that as if you didn't have a massive hole right next to it?
I don't have a massive hole right next to it. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Our biggest sale is now on the Auto Alex shop, where you'll get a massive 30% off using the code SPRING30.
That's not going to work. A spark plug is a simple service on an old car. Maybe we just leave that one in. 3 spark plugs, we don't need 4. Can I just let the alternator flop down? This is less than ideal. I should be able to take this bolt out, not drop it, not drop it, because I need to get this out, and the only way I can get that out is to then take that belt off. This is what I was doing, man. And then now I can flop. That's what I was doing.
It's a bit of a shit design that you have to take your alternator off.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I will give you that.
This car's rubbish.
But I was on the right track.
You were, yeah. Well done, Rory.
See?
I've fitted my bonnet pin meanwhile.
Have you?
Yeah, do you want to have a look?
At this. I'll have a look.
This is to stop the back from levitating.
Okay, so what? You just...
Haven't I done a nice job?
So that slides in like that. Slides in.
Yeah.
Bam.
Look at that. Look, I haven't adjusted it yet. Leave it.
I think my belt's come off something else because the alternator now wants to sit here. Oh yeah, it's come off the lower. Taylor, I feel like I'm playing Twister with the car. Can I just twist the alternator and will that... Oh, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. So how am I meant to tighten something up while also pulling the alternator?
What do you mean?
So what, you need to put pressure on the alternator, don't you?
Yeah.
So how are you meant to then put pressure on the alternator while also using, because it's got a bolt on the other end, you need to put...
Have 3 arms.
Yeah.
But what you can do, right, is nip that up slightly. And then what you want to do is at the longest point of the belt, which is about here. Right, let me step in as well and I'll show you.
You coming in?
I'm getting in, hang on. I'm getting in.
Look at us both in my car.
Right, I'm going to take a seat on the battery.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. There's probably not much holding that on.
Right, so leave that a sec.
Yeah.
Right, so if I lever this alternator like this, it tensions the belt.
Yeah.
So what you want to do at the longest point of the belt, you want to just be able to turn it halfway like that.
Which we can do now.
Which we can do now. It's a bit loose. Again, a lot of this has to be done by feel. Probably should use an actual lever bar, but there we go.
I don't know if you've noticed, Taylor, but this is actually taking 4 hands to do this.
It is, yeah.
All right, so I've tightened that up now. All right.
And then there you are.
So that's alternator.
Did you tighten that spark plug up?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just checking.
I feel like I either need to inject this into myself.
I mean, you can do if you want. You won't
Like
go very well.
what is
So that's a needle.
Yeah.
And it goes in there. I'll be honest, I don't know how. But we can work that out. Now,
So
what I have learned is that needle, basically the shape of it and the diameter of it determines how much
shaft.
fuel goes into your engine. So the fuel actually comes up through here and past this needle. It has to go in there like that and sit dead flush. So I think
do I unscrew this?
you unscrew that and then that comes out and then this goes in
and then screw it back in.
and then you screw it back in. I'm going to do it because I feel like you'll cock it up.
He's got a fair. If we go back to that bonnet,
I've just dropped something, it made a terrible noise.
I've now swapped this spring onto this new one. I put this on here, and then we put that in there, and then yeah, this now bounces out, and then the needle now needs to go into that gold hole. So if we put that in there, and then as far as I'm aware, I now just put the bolts back in, and this should be one of these dash pots done. Taylor, do you think this is going to work?
Oh, sure.
So yeah, as you can see, there's actually a lip here, which should not be there, and that will probably be because this piston is not sitting in the correct place. But we live and we learn. Okay, that is a slight problem. It does not want to go in.
So pretty much the last thing I need to do in this engine bay is fit my nice new K&N air filter. Now I had one of these on before, but it was really old and manky, so I thought I'd get a nice new one on there. That goes there, and the little nut goes on the end. Don't need to do it particularly tight, just nip it slightly, like that. Bonnet can go back on. That is the engine bay done.
Give this a go now. So I've moved the thing around. Up. Look at me go. Now we can see there is no lip.
Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that this car doesn't have a front number plate, and that is because at the time I didn't have any, but I've just bought these, the correct black and silver number plates. I can't remember what year your car has to be for you to be able to have these legally, but I believe this car is old enough to have them. So, because it's a historic vehicle. So I've pre-drilled my holes, and then one there, and then there we have it. What do you reckon, Rory?
That does look the bollocks.
Yeah?
And now I'm at the point where I've literally just got to put some oil in here, and then we start the car and see how it runs.
If it runs.
If it runs. By my calculations, I put the oil down here,
Yeah.
and then I press it lightly, a little bit.
Where does it need to be up to? That level thing?
Yeah, that there. That's at the level
And then
I
you
want,
put the
and
little...
then we put that in.
You can like feel the oil in there.
Yeah, so I've already done this one as well, so this one. I may have put a bit too much in this one, but it's fine, it should just burn it off. So that is now dashpot's done with correct needles in, new spark plugs, which we now need to get to the point where we'll start the car and then basically see how it runs, and then we need to do that whole thing that Tom Lepfel said about tuning, which that was all gibberish to me, so I don't have a clue how this is going to work.
I might know some of the bits on that.
3, 2, 1.
On the button. That is a bit better actually, I'll give you that.
That is so much better.
That's a lot better. That runs all right though. I'd say that was a great success.
Yeah. No, that is actually a lot better. All right. So I need to now take the air filters off so I get access to the actual ports
Yeah.
and see how it's running.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'm going to fit some wheel spacers because my correct studs have arrived.
The next day, Will from Moss arrived, and he was here to do some ancient voodoo and tune our cars.
It is now day 3. Well, technically 2.5 because the first day wasn't really a full day because we just did some cleaning and we got distracted and yeah, it wasn't a full day. But we now have a Will with us. Will, you are from Moss Europe, which is where we get all of our parts for our classic cars. What do you do and what are you here to do for us today, Will?
We supply spare parts for Triumph Spitfires, TRs, MGs, that kind of stuff. Minis, helped you out.
A lot of parts, yeah.
And I'm here to supply Rory some bits and hopefully change a couple of things to make it run a bit better.
So you need to tune yours, I need to tune mine. You also need to lift your front suspension a little bit because it's a bit low. And, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got some new chairs.
I do actually.
Because your chairs are a bit baggy and a bit saggy.
It's out by my car.
We'll have a look at those in a minute, but they're very exciting. So are you going to fit those today?
I think we've run out of time.
Yeah, you're going to fit those today.
Yeah, we're going to fit them today.
Yeah,
We'll fit
we'll
those
fit them
today.
today. We've got loads of time.
And then tonight, we're going to go to the pub, aren't we, Rory? We're going to take our old grandfather clocks down the pub, and you bought your clock as well,
I have.
haven't you?
I've brought my old bit of took.
Yeah, so we're all going to go out in our tour, and it's going to be a right blast. So let's crack on. Let's get these bits and bobs done. I'm going to do Mini, you do fuel pump and whatnot and whatnot and hoo-ha, and then we will reconvene very shortly and go to the pub.
White light shining brighter than the sun.
Fuel pump's in, your fuel line is dry rotted and scary.
We've established that I didn't have the boot seal the wrong way round. I think it's just the wrong boot seal. It's simple engineering, it's fine. Oh yeah, that's better.
The Saviour is not returning, she's lost.
Oh, you've got to make it look good before you drive it. I can't be driving up the road with a car with fingerprints all over it.
The stuff is made from. This is it. This is matter over man. This is it.
Should we give it a test drive?
Yes.
Right, let's.
This is matter over.
It's not fixed.
No, it's not.
It's not fixed.
It's not fixed. No, it's still doing it.
Yeah.
You're back quick.
Not good. Ooh. No, we were just really fast.
Is it engine very bad?
Engine very bad.
What,
Yeah.
is it worse than before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying
Well,
is if you f it up.
It's not worse than before, it's the same. It's just stuttery and jumpy.
Is it only when you floor it?
No.
You know, if you go progressive, it's lovely all the way through the rev range.
There you go, Rory. All you need to do is drive it slowly.
But that's not what Spitfires are for.
But the weird thing is, this used to be good.
It did, and then you let it sit for how long? If you put any fresh fuel in it?
No. Before we go to the fuel station,
Oh, should we look at some seats?
should we look at some seats? And also, let's look at Will's car, which I don't think we've ever shown before.
Yeah. There it is. So, Will, this is a Triumph TR6?
TR6, yes. It was my granddad's. He bought it when it was 10 years old.
Yeah, so that was about 80 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And he loved it. He used it for work. He drove it all over Europe. And he always said he'd leave it to me, and he did.
That's really nice.
I've been driving it now for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. And it's got over 300,000 miles.
It has. It's got over 300,000 miles on its original engine. It's been tweaked, but...
So if you want to see a V2 video on this, regardless of whether you want to see one, you're going to see one, because we're going to do a V2 video on this, because it's incredibly cool, and the story of it makes it even cooler.
Yeah.
Chairs. Ta-da! These,
I'm in the sun.
look, chairs.
Oh, they are so much
Oh,
They are. They're lovely.
and they feel nice, and they're
Yeah.
not baggy like your chairs are.
Yeah.
better. Sorry.
Your baggy chairs. Everyone doesn't need baggy chairs.
Unfortunately, we didn't have time to install my seats, but as we were filling my car up with fresh fuel, we did notice there was something slightly worrying about Taylor's Mini.
It just...
Well, this wheel, as we can see, clearly pointing.
I think maybe...
Clearly pointing at left. This wheel
I did wonder.
is straight.
You know that adjustable bar? I might have done it up too much.
Yeah. So we put 20 litres of fuel in it, and the gauge is now only showing 3/4. We reckon it may have been almost completely empty, and it was also very varnishy. So we're hoping that with a bit more fettling, we can smoke out Taylor.
As ready will be. And we're going to go to a pub. The pub's about half an hour away. So what is it, about 20 miles, Will? Something like that?
It's half an hour,
All right,
so about 3 miles.
a couple of breakdowns. We should be there within the hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get cracking. We're going to the pub.
Yeah.
Got a two-tongue weight from my hairline to my backbone, and it's dragging me around, but I don't listen. All your critics are red. Mind your own business. That's right. Got angel to my left, devil to my right. We're going down.
First time driving my Mini this year.
Already mine is running so much better than it did before I parked it up for the winter.
I know, same. I can actually like accelerate in mine and it doesn't really bog down anymore. This is amazing. I did quite forget how bouncy and rattly this car is though.
Yeah, I've just gone over a few potholes and you just get flung side to side. I don't know, it's kind of like there's no suspension at all. Out on the open road, this is it, boys. Wind in my hair, flowing through. Oh, it's lovely this.
Do you know what? This car has been an absolute chore to work on. It's cut all my arms up, it's frustrated me, it's been a pain in the arse, but being back out in it has been worth it. It's a good bit of fun, this car. Don't get me wrong, it's quite rubbish. It is quite slow and it bogs down and it smells and it gasses me out and it's rattly and it's bouncy, but it really does, it's quite funny and it does put a really big smile on your face.
I think it might be a bit too rich still, because when I come to a bit of a slower speed, it's definitely running a bit, yeah, like, yeah, the slower it is, and then the more fuel's getting into the carbs, and that's when it starts choking up. So I think I just need to probably perfect the tuning of it. But other than that, this is now ready to go to paint. I hope Taylor's having as good time as I am.
And I love days like today when we all go out in our classic cars, we all talk about diff ratios and air filters and carbs and rubbish, go to the pub, have a bit of food or whatever, and then break down on the way home. It's just something about it. It's just great. It really is great. So we've made it. How was your drive, Rory?
Sketchy. Yeah.
Sketchy, same. I also have just realised that my headlamps don't work and there's coolant leaking into my footwell, which is fabulous. But other than that, it ran well and it didn't overheat, which makes a change. And it actually steers quite nice as well. So I'm quite impressed. We're going to enjoy the cars and maybe go and get a pint of Diet Coke. So there we have it, Rory.
Yeah.
I would say that that is a success.
Yes, there's still a lot of work to be done, but I think that's just classic car ownership, isn't
Yeah,
it? Really?
it is. You sort of have to restore them as you go along.
Yeah.
One of which is my headlights. I need to address that before it gets dark, which is why we're now about to leave quite promptly, and I'm going to follow you home.
Yes.
We really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for loads more car stuff, and we'll see you next time. Should we go?
All right.
Go on. That's the wrong side.
That's the passenger side. That's the passenger side.
Oh, I need to check my water.
I need to check mine, actually. It was pissing out oil everywhere.